Of all the planets in our universe, we know of only one that supports life. Just the right distance from the sun, it has the perfect climate. It is that pale blue dot in a not-so-special arm of the Milky Way galaxy. It is home to everyone who has ever lived. All the good, all the bad. It is humanity's entire existence. Revolving around a fairly unremarkable star, Earth is the center of everything human. But it didn't start that way. Billions of years ago, the Earth, the Sun, and the other planets of our solar system simply did not exist. What is here now was only a loose cloud of dust and particles that over time began to gravitate towards each other and eventually, over a period of millions of years, flatten into a rotating disk shape. The process continued until primordial solar bodies began to take shape, and through this process, the Earth was born. Existing early as a mostly molten hellscape, incapable of supporting life, the Earth began its growth. At its beginning, Earth was unrecognizable from its modern form. At first, it was extremely hot, to the point that the planet likely consisted almost entirely of molten magma. Over the course of a few 100 million years, the planet began to cool. Scientists believe the next stage involved the collision of a protoplanet with a very young planet Earth. It is thought to have occurred more than 4.5 billion years ago, and may have resulted in the formation of Earth's moon. The final stage of development saw the bombardment of the planet with asteroids. The asteroids and comets impacting Earth potentially brought water, as well as the necessary amino acids to combine over time and lead to the beginning of life on this planet, through the evolution of higher forms, as well as their ultimate destruction. But what does any of this have to do with Skinwalker Ranch? To answer that question, we must first take a look at Earth as it is today and familiarize ourselves with the scientific theory of plate tectonics. What you see now is modern Earth. As it spins before you now, you see all of the familiar oceans, mountain ranges, seas, land masses, and islands that you've known for your whole life. But they weren't always like that. Through plate tectonics, which is a scientific theory that explains how major landforms are created as a result of Earth's subterranean movements, the theory solidified in the 1960s and transformed Earth's sciences by explaining many phenomena, including mountain building events, volcanoes, and earthquakes. In plate tectonics, Earth's outermost layer, or lithosphere, made up of the crust and upper mantle, is broken into large rocky plates. These plates lie on top of a particularly molten layer of rock called the asthenosphere. Due to the convection of the asthenosphere and lithosphere, the plates move relative to each other at different rates, from 2 to 15 centimeters per year. This interaction of tectonic plates is responsible for many different geological formations, such as the Himalayan mountain ranges in Asia, the East African Rift, the San Andreas Fault in California, and even the strange ridges and mesas in and around Skinwalker Ranch. So why all of this Earth history as a backstory to Skinwalker Ranch? The answer is that all of this lays the foundation for my personal hypothesis regarding the ranch. A hypothesis which is based on my personal experience while on the ranch and some other anecdotal evidence which must be further studied. I may well be completely wrong on this. However, I want to take you on a journey back in time, roughly 260 million years ago. What you see now is planet Earth at that time. This is the late Permian period. The greatest mass extinction in history is about to take place, driving 90% of all Earth species extinct. As the globe rotates, you can see that the major continents are all grouped together in a massive supercontinent, with the exception of our little red dot that is Skinwalker Ranch. This is situated on an island and a perfect vantage point to study the evolution of planet Earth. Now imagine with me a spacefaring civilization who sets about the cosmos to study life elsewhere in the universe. They approach our mostly unremarkable star and find this, our third rock from the sun, as a planet with an abundance of life, though not yet sentient. They drop off a probe, which is an advanced artificial intelligence designed for the long-term study of planetary evolution. As the probe circles the Earth, it finds the best vantage point possible, an island in the temperate zones, both land-based and with an excellent vantage point to study ocean evolution. This is Skinwalker Ranch. Over the course of the next 20 million years or so, the probe continues to monitor activity on planet Earth. This is now the early Triassic period, 240 million years ago. Oxygen levels are significantly lower due to the extinction of many land plants. Many corals went extinct, with reefs taking millions of years to reform. Small ancestors to birds and mammals and dinosaurs survive on what is called the Pangea supercontinent. Skinwalker Ranch is still mostly isolated, but the tectonic activity and the shifting of the plates has increased the activity in the area, causing mountain ranges to begin to spring up. We now move forward to 220 million years ago. This is the Middle Triassic. The Earth is now recovering from the Permian Triassic extinction event. Small dinosaurs begin to appear. The tectonic shifts throughout the major continent have caused massive upheavals. The probe, most likely now, lies meters below the surface, unable to fulfill its mission. It remains buried and isolated. The artificial intelligence that governs the operation of the probe is so significantly advanced that it's nearly sentient. However, being completely cut off from its origins, with no way to send data back, it simply continues its mission, observing, looking, and studying the evolution of Earth. The probe, although now buried under multiple strata of rock and dirt, was built to last, and to continue recording and transmitting its data. Though it is no longer able to fulfill its mission, it remains diligent to its design. It bears witness to the birth and extinction of the dinosaurs, as well as the evolution of humankind. And here's where things, in my hypothesis, get interesting. The probe, with its nearly sentient advanced artificial intelligence, begins to recognize electrochemical processors, human brains, within its data transmission range, and it attempts to fulfill its mission parameters of data delivery. However, it's limited in its ability to communicate due to its isolation underground as well as its construction. While the human brain is a processor of sorts that runs on electricity, it's not compatible with the signals being sent by the probe. These signals are received, but to the early hominids, later Native Americans, and current modern investigators, these signals cause havoc on the central nervous system, causing both biological harm as well as vivid hallucinations.